Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Copecast. I'm one of the co-hosts, Jack, and with me is
Ollie.
Today, well, I don't know what we're going to chat about. We're going to chat about whatever we want, I guess.
Yeah. I just want to correct him. He said the Copecast is the Copecast.
Yeah.
I think he's just being a twat.
Yeah, I'm just too. I'm too lower class to be able to say cast. I think. Yeah.
No,
I'm going to stick to it.
It's both correct. We're just missing.
No, it is wild though that you have a posher accent than me. Out of everything that we've ever. Yeah, you never even lived in England, but you have a posher accent.
At some point, I think I was. I don't know. I was just used to listening to this one.
Yeah, just from the TV shows that you watched.
Yeah. It's even the comedy TV shows. They were mostly. And because I mean, if you listen to David Mitchell,
I was just thinking of him.
Like
that's the dude from Peep Show, right? Is that the dude from Peep Show? Is that David Mitchell?
David Mitchell he's the one who was talking in a condescending.
Dude, I swear it is. Have you seen Peep Show though? Right, the TV show where they record everything from their own personal view.
I think he's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of him as the actual dude who was the one I was picturing.
Yeah. He's the one from We the Baddies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You should guys check this one out. Like he was playing a Nazi, and then he was telling his mate like, "Are we the baddies?
Are we the bad guys?" Yeah.
I mean, we have skulls on our hats, and then he said, "Yeah, it's because it means we're gonna kill our enemies." But then we made he said,
"It's a choice, right?"
His mate said, "It's propaganda," and he said, "But we designed that."
Yeah. It is wild. I mean, obviously the Nazis are like the quintessential most evil bad guys in all of the West. That's our narrative at the moment. But they did make it easy. They did make it really easy.
They did make it easy for people.
The Nazis are so masculine. It's like pure masculinity in that sense.
I mean, say whatever you want to say. They dress well.
Of course.
They dress well, man.
It was sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is the Allies didn't even need to do anything. They just made it very easy to look like the bad guys.
Yeah. That's something that I've never looked into too much. I've heard like bits about it, and I've heard people give different opinions about how the debate normally comes down to like is Hitler, was he Christian, or was the Third Reich Christian? And then they talk about the Catholic Church helped them, and like no, actually the Catholic Church was rejected, or Hitler was Christian, but he wasn't. He just gave.
I presume the Catholic and the.
He just gave lip service to it, and then but he was actually quite pagan.
The Pope was in Italy, so they definitely helped them.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they protected a load of gold or like Nazi paintings and stuff that the Nazis like stole or took from people. I can't remember.
Sorry but it's on the same lines, but
yeah,
Hitler's drawings were good, man. He was rejected from our school.
They were good. They are really solid. Yeah,
they were really good.
Me and my fiance were talking about this, about how like they're actually legitimately solid. We said it'd be good to have them on the wall, one on the wall, and then just so if somebody comes over, like, what do you think of it? Obviously, everybody partially being polite, but they were like, it's legitimately like a nice painting. I think he was rejected
because it might have looked like it didn't have spirit. It was just copying
maybe
a scene, maybe rather than having an actual spirit, but. It's really good.
This is something that, I noticed. There's this book called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. It's like a 50-hour audiobook, and it does seem very well written. It's really well researched, and I think a lot of it was, I want to say the author was around at and after the time. Like he lived in Germany for periods as Hitler came to power and went the whole process.
It's an old book?
I think so, or it was. Yeah, it must have been at least like maybe it was written and published in the 70s or something. I can't remember. I'm going to be massively off on that. I pulled that number out of my arse, but that was like the feeling that you get. It must have been within that decade's period. And that was when you listen to these books. It's interesting when you listen to different history books or documentaries on stuff where you start noticing, they worded a fact completely different. Like, I'm pretty sure the fact is common across them all. Mm-hmm. Like so Hitler was good at Hitler did paintings, and then the dude in the audiobook was really quite harsh on saying how shitty his paintings were. And I was thinking that. I don't know. Is that indicative of more bias that he has towards it? Because the paintings are solid. They're pretty good. Yeah. Because he did them a lot. I think because he was like a vagabond for 4 years in before the war, before the First World War started.
Before he started doing all that, he was just painting.
Yeah, and he lived in Munich as a homeless dude.
Yeah. Look what you did when you rejected someone from our school.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's on you.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that, man.
6 million people's blood's on your hands.
A lot more than 6 million, I guess. Well, a lot less if you're asking conspiracy theorists.
Did you see that video? I think it was a comedy. It's a TV show. It had the company's CEO, he's questioning one of his friends, but at the same time he works under him, and he was telling him, "Did you? This is just, it was an evaluation. Did you read Mein Kampf?" And he said, "Yeah, a couple of times."
Yeah, a couple of times, yeah.
And he said, "A couple of times." He said, so you didn't read whatever? I gave him a couple of examples of books, and you didn't read this a couple of times. You didn't read
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I think, and he started talking about his opinions, and he said, "Yeah, I agree. The Second World War had like that many million." He mentioned that many Polish, that many
Yeah.
English, that many, and then he didn't say anything about the Jews, and he said, "I think you lost a couple of million there,
Yeah.
Steve."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good show.
What show is it? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I'm even like.
Was it an English show or was it an American one? Do you
It's an
remember?
American one.
American one. Okay. Yeah.
You said, he said it as if, "Are we gonna do this?" Yeah, I read it a couple of times.
A couple of times is pretty.
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's
it?
good. Yeah,
A couple of times. If in real life, if somebody said a couple of times, I'll be like, a couple of times.
What?
Yeah. One time's definitely completely. Yeah, you could have read it once. You're curious about
Like-
the dude. He published a whole book
Yeah,
explaining
he
everything.
said that.
Yeah, read
I
it.
was just, out of sheer historical.
If you said, "Oh, I was curious about it," and as
He
opposed to
said
saying,
that.
"I was fascinated,"
Yeah,
by it, that'd be very
that would
different.
be-
Yeah.
But he said, "I read it out of historic curiosity," and then he said a couple of times.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I think,
I've never actually read it. I remember getting that from the
never read
library
it either.
once, and I had a load of other books on the go, and I think I started reading it, and I didn't really have enough context of where he was or why he wrote it. So I think it was a bit opaque, and
I think
it
that's
was pretty dry as well. It wasn't. I read 2 pages, 3 pages, but I just couldn't. I didn't get into it. For
I think
whatever
it's
reason.
because he was just lonely in the prison, man. He needs to let shit out.
Yeah.
By the way, fun fact: one of Egypt's presidents as well. He was in the prison.
Which
like-
the same prison with Hitler?
No. He was just under the. So during the Second World War, he was when Egypt was under the English rule. He was talking to, what was his name? That Hitler's general in the East. I can't remember his name. He was talking in Africa. He was talking to him.
Oh, Rommel.
Yes, Rommel. Yeah.
Rommel. Yeah.
He was talking to him because he wanted to leave the English, so he was going to join Hitler for that. Not join Hitler. Like, he was going to collaborate with Rommel to let.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the Egyptian dude is trying to do this. Okay,
Yeah. So the British
No
imprisoned
loyalty,
him.
man. No loyalty.
Yeah, the British imprisoned him, and he got out. Fine.
Escaped or let him out eventually?
I think they let him out. Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, because what was the structure of Egypt at the time, like
it
politically?
was a kingdom.
Yeah.
It was a kingdom, and believe it or not, England was indebted to Egypt at that time.
Well, like money wise.
Yeah, the cotton farming was a lot at the time, and England imported a lot of time. Dude, believe it or not, so right now the U.S. Sorry, this is like on the same lines, but it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, we'll get back to the
US
British accents when we started in a second. Yeah.
The U.S. So Egypt's pound was equal to $3 at the time.
Okay. When was this?
That was like the end of the 40s, the 50s. Like
Okay.
about the war, about the war. So it was $3. Right now, $1 is 50 Egyptian pounds. That's freaking mental.
That's nuts, man. And then you think how much like $1 in the 1940s compared to $1 in 2025 is deflated so much as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
So you can think that's mental, man.
That's
That's
like,
freaking
like
mental.
2,000 times difference.
Yeah, I don't know how much. What do you think of the inflation now? I don't know.
What in the US? It seems from just.
It seems stable for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just judging it by what I had to pay actually just pay for groceries and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember when we first got here. I remember it stressing me out because we had like our grad school wages and there's like a certain amount. I had a higher rent than you as well because you got a good deal on it. So I remember I had like a certain amount every week and I was thinking, this is actually pretty chill. And then chicken was like $2 a pound. It kept going up. I remember eggs never. Yeah.
Eggs was at some point went from being
cheap.
an 18 eggs carton went from being, I think, $4 or $5 to freaking $13.
Nuts.
That was mental.
It came down a little bit now, but it's still
it's
way
still-
higher.
still
Yeah.
a bit,
Even
yeah.
Costco changed their prices. They used to do like 2 dozen eggs for $5 and they've changed that as well.
I like eggs at Aldi, man.
Yeah, I've never really got them from there. I don't shop at Aldi.
It's nice.
I just do Food
The
Line
meat
and-
quality is nice.
I think you've told me that. Oh, you were saying that about Walmart? Walmart had good steaks or
Aldi.
something? Oh, okay.
Aldi.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the meat quality there. It's good. There's that cut of meat, like petite sirloin. It's dude, if you
good.
overcook it, it's still
Oh, it
freaking-
retains it quite nice. Yeah, it
Dude,
doesn't go
it's-
too dry.
It's really soft and tender, and it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. You should
Nice,
try
man.
it.
I'm gonna have to try that then.
You should try it. You should definitely try it next time.
Yeah. I
Overcook
don't
it.
normally get
Intentionally,
sirloin
I was
too
gonna
often.
say intentionally overcook it and
Just to see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'll have to
yeah,
give it a go.
It would. Yeah, it would not. There's also a different way.
You like really lean steak as well, right? Like, that's
Yeah,
why you
yeah,
like
yeah.
sirloin.
It's-
I
it's
mean, I
quite
don't
lean,
dislike.
yeah.
I like sirloin.
It's still you
definitely,
could get
but
cuts petite sirloin. We have extra fat. You could see it.
It's on the outside, right, with sirloin. It's not like
Yes.
marbled inside.
Yes.
Because I've been like in
some of the cuts, it's like a sheath on the that's covering the muscle. If that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, but you could see it, so you could pick whatever you want.
Yeah, nice. Because I've been like I like New York strips. It's got like the fat along the side, and it's also quite marbled relative to sirloin.
Yeah,
I rate that
I
one
think
a lot.
the only reason
Ribeye. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I presume New York strips would be really good, but I did not like it because it has more fat than I would need.
Yeah, that's just a difference in
It would
preferences.
taste good, don't get me wrong, but it would have more fat than I would.
Ribeye is good if you go camping, so you can just chuck it on a fire that you don't really know the temperature of, and it's so fatty it's going to be sound.
Go camping.
We need to sort that actually. Yeah, so we want to do the kayaking down the river, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We should sort that.
You want to do? We can do it after. He's getting married, guys.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can do it after you come back. After you finish. It would be too short to plan it now, right?
Probably so. If we're trying to get kayaks, yeah. Otherwise, if we're just going camping, we'll just go out. Just
Yeah,
drive
yeah,
out
we could
until
just
whatever.
do that. Yeah.
But yeah, if we're actually doing it, yeah, we should. If
The
we're trying to do like
kayaking.
proper kayaking, then we should probably plan
Also,
it.
I think
August
like,
would probably be
closer
nicer
to
weather
August,
as well.
Exactly, like
The weather
be
at the
less
moment would be
humid.
fucking brutal.
Would be,
Whether it's going to be pissing it down so we're not warm and we're soaked through for 2 days.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's honestly, I'm waiting for it to keep raining a bit more. Because it feels fresh, man. It, feels
does
fresh.
feel nice.
It was
Yeah.
a couple of
I
days
just don't
when
want to be
it was
sitting
actually,
outside in it all the
cloudy.
time.
There were a couple of days when it's actually cloudy. That
Yeah.
was fresh. That
That
was
was
a bit
nice.
windy. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss it every now and again. I like it when it absolutely pisses it down for a few
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. So how do you feel?
About what, getting married?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm very hyped. I'm very hyped
Yeah,
about it.
Connie looked really, really happy about it.
Yeah.
She looked. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I don't have the words for it. She looked.
Me neither, dude. No, I'm really looking forward to it. I've got to admit though, leading up to this, I've been working, doing so much work that I got consumed by that. Where I knew it was coming up, but it just became a thing of, I've got my PhD, I've got my side projects. There's a certain amount of tasks that have to be done just as logistics. So I became. We just got to tick these things off. And now it's a month here. I've slowed down. I'm not doing like my side projects as much, and I'm just doing writing for my paper. So I'm not thinking about coding all the time. Then now I'm purposely taking some time to think about it.
Nice.
It's good, man. I'm looking forward to it. There's no part of me that's nervous about it. I'm excited. I know on the day it's gonna be similar to when I got engaged, where I was very sober. I was very like, oh fuck, like this is a big event. But I'm not
Think you're
nervous.
gonna get drunk?
Probably not. I'm probably not fussed about it. That's something that always a couple of things that always sit weird with me when people do weddings when I was like a kid and I'd hear people planning them. It's one is like, it's supposed to be this important, it is an important day, and these people think it's an important day, but they'll get blackout drunk and forget it. That's
Exactly.
yeah. Or like the dude feels the need that he wants to chill with his boys on the day. So you should definitely chill with your boys, but like just be with your fucking wife, man, on your day. Like just be around the family. That always seemed a bit off to me. Also, when people would feel the pressure of, and maybe, I wonder if this happens in Egypt because you have like bigger family connections. When people would say like, I've got to invite my second aunt. If she doesn't like this food, or if I don't invite her, she's gonna be so upset because I already invited uncle, whatever.
It doesn't. That would happen. The second thing would happen, but the first thing about the food, no, we're just gonna get the food.
Yeah.
And you don't really think of who would like what and who wouldn't like what.
Yeah. But the invitation level.
The invitation level would be different. Yes.
So I remember even as a kid, I remember just thinking, it's not their wedding. Why do they feel entitled to go? I guess, or why would
do you mean?
not entitled? That's a bad word.
Who feels what?
I don't. Yeah, I'm wording this poorly. I didn't mean what I said. What I mean is, if you're the person getting married, why do you put so much thought into the opinions of other people that are coming or not coming, or if they'll be offended or if they approve or not, when you barely ever see them
Well,
anyway?
think about it. You want to be at your best, but how do you be at your best? You take that from your community. I'm not saying that should be done, but
Yeah, you're talking about the psychology of the reason
Yeah,
behind it,
yeah,
not
yeah,
saying
yeah,
whether you
that's
should
how-
or should not do it. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
how
Say,
the-
what do you mean exactly then?
what's the word? you get the meaning of how good you look, how good you feel usually from the community. So
Yeah.
they just want everything to be perfect. They want everything to be, oh, she was so this. Oh,
Yeah.
that wedding was perfect.
So big, the flower arrangements
yeah,
were so
yeah.
good. She
Oh,
looked
that
so
was so that,
beautiful.
yeah.
The speech. I was crying for the speech.
How do you think weddings were back in I don't know, China?
That's a good question, man. I wonder.
We never really touched.
We didn't actually.
We
We're
should have-
supposed to be
should
an
have done
anthropology
that,
podcast, and we
yeah.
never covered any of it.
We never thought about that actually. We should do that.
So I'm even trying to think about
look
what it had
into
been.
it.
Yeah, I was even trying to think now what it looked like in like medieval England or something like that. And the only clip that I even come into my head is like the opening scene in Braveheart where he gets married and then the dude there's like prima nocta and comes and fucks his new bride. But I mean, I don't think that movie's entirely like historically accurate. But I do
Yeah.
prima nocta. You know what prima nocta is?
No.
It's saying like if you're the lord of the place, when if I'm lording over some area and then one of my peasants gets married, I get to fuck his wife, his new bride first, take her virginity, and then she can go back and live.
It's saying that ancient Chinese weddings are usually held at home, creating an intimate and solemn atmosphere.
Solemn atmosphere.
Yeah.
Interesting, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Solemn's a strong word for a marriage, for a wedding. I mean, I can imagine
Right.
it, but solemn to me is like somber, like quiet.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
there's
exactly,
like
yeah.
a kind of almost
Oh,
sad
I see what
weight
you're
to
saying
it.
now. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
Everybody's nobody's smiling if they're somber.
Yeah, they say that it had very complex rituals and depth of meaning that reflected the importance that Chinese people placed on marriage. Traditional Chinese weddings typically followed by the 6 rites, which included proposal, exchanging birth information, presenting betrothal gifts, sending wedding gifts, choosing the wedding date, and finally the wedding ceremony itself. Damn.
Yeah, it is interesting to think about what marriage represents, because it is, out of any given civilization, it is a
I
necessary
think in a sense
institution.
it feels like today. Sorry to cut you off, but in
No,
a
go on
sense
then.
it feels like today. I mean, you propose, you get engaged for a bit, and then
Yeah, on the face of it,
it's
just like the
3
things written down
stages.
is the same as
But I think for Chinese it's more. I don't know. I think it's definitely different for Chinese people because
yeah.
because in the sense that
I mean, that's a very surface level summation of like the actual practical
Yeah.
events that happen.
I wanna refer to one of the things that we said is they really like family and so on. So I presume this is something in Egypt as well, man. I was talking to one girl like a month ago, and I was telling her that the way people date in Egypt, it's even if they don't end up getting married, the intention is we're trying to get married. We
Yeah.
could be incompatible, so we wouldn't get married.
Yeah,
But the intention is to get married.
vastly
which is
different than the
very
modern,
different-
the
different
secular
from-
West. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is also what I was going to say about the intent behind. Like, if you described in the West what like a covenantal like Christian marriage would be, and just what the average person like secular atheist would do, you would go through the same steps. But like the intent about what marriage should mean like philosophically is different. I talked to my friends back in England, and like, one of them would marry his girl, but he would say it's probably just because we've been dating a while. I guess it's what you do, isn't it? We're gonna have kids, so I guess we'll get married. And then my brother isn't too fussed about getting married because he doesn't see any benefit in it. Which, yeah, I was like, yeah, I agree. Like, if you don't have these other ideas about what marriage should be, then it is just my girl nagged me enough that I fucking just said, yeah, why not? I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Which is why if I've thought that when somebody there's just if they're devoid of all like tradition and religion and they say they're getting married,
What does it
why?
mean?
Like, what does that mean? Yeah, and so we're making a promise in front of our families. Like, you just do that without getting married. Then like, why? You say it's gay. Yeah.
Are you sure you're dating? I think you're gay.
Is she a dude or something? What is this? Yeah. No, but it's like any answer they would give is just you could just do that then. You don't have to do these other things.
Yeah.
So the Chinese must have had some other level of, I don't know. There must be something deeper there. I mean, obviously, there's probably times where the Chinese were very secular, as we've gone through their history. It oscillates, you know.
Yeah. Talking about different traditions and countries.
Oh wait, sorry,
what
dude.
we're
Can I?
talking about- yeah.
But stick on this. What do Egyptians? How would a religious like Muslim Egyptian conceptualize marriage? What would they think they're doing?
Dude, so marriage in Islam is actually quite practical.
Yeah.
Like from an Islam point of view, like you have sexual desires, and the godly way to satisfy this is by getting married and not by just messing about, because messing about it gives rise to kids with no parents, and it just messes up society. So
does Islam talk about like that? Don't have sex out of marriage because it has kids outside of it, or is that your inference, or like it's common wisdom?
More like what people talked with Muhammad about, and
so it's like recorded in the surahs or whatever, the hadiths, sorry. Or is it just common wisdom? Because it also makes sense. Obviously, I don't disagree with what you're saying.
It's common wisdom. Yeah. I don't know if they put it in hadith or not. I can't remember. I can't remember like what exactly is in the literature about it.
Yeah.
It's
obviously sinful. Like you should be getting married.
Yeah. But the reason it's sinful, when people try to explain, why did God say it's sinful? Is because it messes up the family, it messes up society, and you end up
which is correct. Yeah.
Which is correct, exactly. Yeah. So it's very, and the again, the way to satisfy it is very practical. We all need to do that. So
yeah. Well, these are the two paths. If you talk to like, so it's not. I don't think it's explicitly written in the Bible. Well, I guess it is in some of it. Probably could find some stuff that supports this pretty well, but it's also like the common teaching throughout the church is that it's you do have these desires, so rather you should choose two paths. Rather you're not called to have children. If you're called to have children, then you get married, and then also if you're lustful, it sorts all that. That's nice. Yeah. It directs that lustful thing to having kids, which is virtuous, or you just become a priest. These are the two things you should do.
There's one hadith that says that says if you feel the way you feel ready is by the way to be pious is by pious on the side of lust and so on. If you want to protect yourself from lust, get married. That's what you do. If you can't, then you fast, because fast calms you down.
Yeah. It's
very solid advice. Honestly.
Yeah, there's a part. The bit I was thinking of when I almost said that it wasn't explicitly spoke about in one of Paul's epistles. I can guess it's Corinthians, but I can't remember. They talk about how they should wait. A couple should wait to marriage, but if they really can't wait and they keep falling into sin or they can't resist any longer, just get married. Yeah. And then they also say your bodies are each other's bodies, so you should continue to like have sex is good within marriage, and it's completely fine in marriage if it's done in like a certain. I guess there's a certain heart posture you're supposed to have. Yeah. But they also says you can stop for a bit to fast and to like get closer to God, but come back to it again in case you get too horny. And
if you think about it, fasting is what monks do. So when I say monks, I don't mean Christian. I mean
Buddhist,
Tibetan and Buddhist.
The other ones do fast as well, but we can stick it to Buddhists.
The discipline is nice, man.
It's true, because you become so aware of everything. It's very easy to notice the flow of consciousness and just think. When I've fasted, I've definitely. It's so easy to control because you see it a mile off. You see your lust a mile off, and you're like, fuck it, I see you coming, dude. I'll just let you go. See you coming. You get it? Yeah. Not today.
That's a good one. Especially when you just says, I see you coming. Because you didn't catch it at first.
Yeah. If you'll pardon the pun.
Yeah. So on these lines, we were talking yesterday about how you define American.
Oh, you want to go over that? We can go over that. Yeah. Let's give the backstory of it, though, because, again, this is something that I'm chilled to talk about on the podcast, but obviously my huge caveat, when similar to when we were talking on the previous episode.
We don't want to be too spicy with it.
You don't want to be too spicy, and the definition that I gave was somebody else's definition. I don't think I agree with it, so I'm going to add the caveat now. I'm going to add it in the middle. I'm going to add it at the end. But I'm not saying that this is my opinion for anybody listening. Because we were also talking about the fact that people can infer what you mean, like a moral statement about what you mean, when that's not what we're saying. You're just having like some other discussion, and people will like to make inferences about what that means. It's not that deep.
Akram.
Yeah, shout out to Akram. Yeah.
If you're listening to this is for you.
Yeah, but a lot of people do it. So I'm trying to say it's not that deep what I'm saying. We're just having a discussion about what a definition could be.
Don't read into it too much.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start by saying what the definition was? And I'll just respond to it.
Yeah. So it was a guy that was saying that his definition...
You don't have to be precise, so just say whatever, like...
I'm going to say it and we'll see how we'll go. He was saying that the definition of an American to him is it's somebody that has European ancestry that's culturally American, like the white culture of America. And then he would say that anybody else that's like an American citizen, like another race, would be an American citizen, and they could be good or bad citizens. Probably a lot of them are good, and you just chill with them being there to a certain degree. But they're not American. They're just American citizens that live in America.
Hmm.
But they will always be fundamentally different.
I get that.
And then
Here's the thing. I would agree with that in some other different country. I think America's situation is a bit different. I would agree with that, like for Egypt, for England, as you would say. Like I would agree with that with traditional countries.
Wait, do you say Egypt for England or something? Or do you say England
It's
for
like
England?
for Egypt, for England.
Okay, I thought you said Egyptians for England.
No,
I guess.
no, I was counting.
Yeah,
I was
no, I get what you're
counting like
saying.
different countries. Yeah, yeah. I would
Japan,
say
for Japan, for Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just counting the different countries, like traditional countries. But America is based on the immigration and the settling down.
Yeah.
Which is, let's say, take his definition. What I was trying to say is, you could definitely say definitions that are just, that's what I think, but it's not based off something. I could see the motivation behind his definition, but it's
in
not,
the sense of it would be useful, but you're saying it's not based in something
but
that's
it's not
realistic.
But for
like
America,
reality.
it's not based on something reasonable.
Yeah.
Like I, in the end, it will end up being a definition, just what's the thing, like a choice. It will end up being a choice, but there are reasonable choices and there are unreasonable choices. I think his choice is unreasonable because, let's say someone from a different race, like let's say Chinese, and he immigrated before America was even a thing.
Yeah. Or use blacks as an example, because they were brought over here as well. Yeah, and they were here from pretty much the start.
Yeah, so if he owned the land, you could not take the land from him, and he was there before you. He did not have a European
And you don't mean, to clarify to the people listening, that Ali doesn't mean own the land in like a legal sense. I mean, like I'm on the land.
Yeah.
Move me off the fucking land if you want the land. It's my land because I'm the one that had power over the land.
Exactly, but he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Why do you call him not American?
Yeah.
I think. So what I was trying to say was, with America, it was based on immigrating, taking land and just working on it, and in the end, like living on it and so on.
Yeah.
So,
because I was thinking about this, because it's a really good point, and then we didn't bother getting into it because it's a 4th of July party, and we're both two foreigners talking about
exactly.
and also when you would get like we'd get deep into it, we didn't have to add clarifications at a social event.
So I think it's reasonable to.
I agree that you should have some of a reasonable basis in reality, and I was trying to steelman their point, like that other person's point. I was thinking about it this morning a little bit.
Retarded to steal.
I thought of two things, two different paths it could go. One would be, so if you came up with a reasonable, is everything all good on the sound audio?
Good.
We're all good. I was thinking about if he could come up with like a historical reason for why this is what an American should be.
Yeah.
Based off of the logic that you gave, then you would by your own logic have to like accept I guess that is on par with their, at least, because I think what you called it retarded, and that's why we got into it. So then I thought and then my next question was, is it any more retarded than a different definition? Yeah. So then I was thinking, like, if you gave the example of out of all the people that colonized it, the initial colonization before 1776, before like in the 1600s, it was like vast majority white dudes from England that had this ethnicity, this cultural thing. These are the people that came up with the philosophy that guided it, the reason for the American Revolution. They did most of the pushing of the frontier, the building, the style of clothes, like all the cultural is directly from this island that's to here. Then you would say, like, out of all the people, right? So you would still say, there were some blacks here, there were some black people, but the vast majority of the original Americans were that.
So that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that was going to be a second point that I would add is, I definitely agree that they probably share like a specific culture.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if that black dude shared the same thing, he went through the same things as they did. He was not from a European ancestry, but he went through the same things that they went through.
So the most I could push
do
it to
you
not
see
be.
What I'm saying?
No, so this is what I'm saying. Yeah, so I agree. So then the most I could push the argument would be that black people, I mean, obviously they're enslaved, so I'm not blaming them for it, had such a small cultural and historical impact during that period that it's just massively dominated by them. So we're going to just say you're like Black American, we're American.
But that doesn't. So that's what I was going to say. That we could take into the definition.
Do you think that's an unreasonable definition? I guess is what I'm at.
So that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It would be reasonable if you did not include the ancestry. If you included the fact that they went through what they went through during the independence process and so on. Yeah, that could be right. it doesn't need to be European, but if you included they did this, and they did this, it's obviously unreasonable.
Yeah.
They did this.
So would you then? So this is what I thought
You
about.
see
Like,
what
if
I'm
I was,
saying
yeah,
now?
I agree. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So then that was me if I was trying to steelman his argument from just his perspective. I was thinking if I was going to critique your logic, like the definition that you gave, that would be of saying, oh, it's people that have like historical tie to the land, and the stronger the historical tie, the more reasonable it is to say that they're American. Then you would say like, well, does anybody that moved, any Mexican or like Chinese person that moved here 100 years in the 1800s instead of the 1700s, they have less of a, the logic doesn't hold for them, so they would be less of American. So you could
No,
say
it still holds because they
why?
went through it. Oh, you
Went through
mean
what?
in the 1800s?
Because they're here 200 or like 150 years after that, like this 200 years after that.
Yeah, you could.
You could disagree, but by the logic you laid out, so by the logic you laid out, it would have been like, it's unreasonable to exclude black people because black people were there originally, so for the whole 300 and something years.
Yeah.
But so it was like, all right, yeah, we'll include like whites and blacks, but then say any Mexican or that came 100 years after, then there'll be less
The way I
responsive.
would respond to that is, you didn't have these borders with Mexico when it originally was. That's one thing.
So you're saying
let
America
me put it
pushed
this
into
way,
land
Let me put it this way.
yeah.
Sorry, let me. I think I need to rephrase it. So I would think that is not unreasonable to say that, but
They keep just blacks and whites and everybody else.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I would not agree with it because I think the premise that the US is based on is different states that got together, and these like when it was being formed, there were some Mexicans.
So this is a valid point.
inside.
Man. I thought this as
Yeah,
well. I was going to bring it up if you
that's
didn't.
what I was going to say. I
I
would say it's not completely unreasonable, but I would say the unreasonableness comes from this.
Because the Mexicans on the land,
Yeah,
the US pushed into
Because
the
you can
region.
imagine some Mexican being in California before California became even
Or
California.
Texas. Texas was part of Mexico. And then,
Before even so, it makes sense that they
So
were
okay,
on the land.
nice. So I agree
and
with that,
they
man.
still-
Like I said, I was going to bring up that point. So what would you say then to Chinese people? America never conquered Chinese land, but Chinese immigrated over here in like the 1800s. Are they now less American by that logic, or you still want to include them? Why would you? By what logic would you still include them?
By what logic would I?
Would they still be counted as Americans
Is
without falling back to the thing of like,
you remember
we're
when
built off
we
immigration?
were talking about Egypt and we said the Greeks bred with the Egyptians and it became just a pool. Like I would say at some point when you've stayed long enough, you just became part of a culture. Once you start, I think that the very reasonable definition is that once you start becoming an integrated part of a culture.
Of what culture? The existing
Whatever
culture, right?
Like it's being an American, being Egyptian. Once you become an integrated part of a culture, then you're part of that.
How long does that? So it's the actual cultural
I don't know
practice.
how long it will take, but I think let's say if you're a Chinese guy and you immigrate in the 1800s and you get married to a woman, like 2 generations, your whole family is probably American.
Yeah. What do you? Okay. Yeah,
Sorry, it's probably. You get what I'm saying now?
So this is where the definitions can be interesting as well, because you said they integrate to become American, but then we define like what does American obviously in that context means the existing culture, which would be like the predominantly white, a little bit Mexican, a little bit of black culture.
Yeah.
So they'd have to become part of that culture there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once you become an integrated part of a culture, you remember when I was telling you in
So once if
ancient
they don't,
Egypt,
then- okay,
sorry,
yeah,
you
go on.
remember when I was telling you in ancient Egypt that the Ptolemies married from Egyptians and they were mostly a part of it. They had to call themselves pharaohs and so on.
Yeah.
At that point, like I think after 2-3 generations, you start thinking of them. These are the Egyptians. Like this is Egypt.
I see. I'm going to go with the point. Yeah. Regardless of the historical, we disagreed on the historical facts. We read different things on that, but I see your point. I see your point fully. So I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I start thinking of them as I'm giving this as an example of like just saying once
if they don't integrate too well, then because this is okay. So this. Well, let me finish the full point. Let me say a full point because the extent of the logic would be that.
It's just based on immigration, right?
Yeah, and the definition. Yeah, it's like eventually they're going to integrate, and also one of the things we said at the start of the conversation yesterday that we didn't say now was the fact that like a Californian is so different to somebody in DC, which I agree with. And a Californian is more. Yeah, let me just say it fully.
There is a caveat. Yeah, go on.
So the Californian has more to do with a Mexican because there's so many like Mexicans there because like Mexicans are out there waving Mexican flags in there. And then I would say that just comes down to a thing of the definition of an American and that everybody's using it so loose that it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly
so it's a shitty definition.
But the reason behind that is because America itself played the identity politics for so long, it made it hard for people to be a coherent culture. You see what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
So the caveat on that you have to be an integrated part of the culture. So let me put it this way. I think the American culture at this point is this separation of different cultures. This is the American culture right now, is you have separated different cultures.
By the current definition of what an American
exactly,
is.
Exactly.
Which,
And
so
it
this is
is
where,
what it is now. It is what it is now.
Yeah.
You can't change.
So this is why I would say, though, so again, Steelman in his point, you would say then, by the own logic, because I agree that that's what it is it's an amalgamation of different things. And so I see from that, if that's your worldview, then yeah, people come in and it changes and it flows. I agree to a large degree that is just the reality of what being in America is like, is what it is. But then you would say, like, remember, they would just go, that is a retarded definition then. It doesn't mean enough. And then and that dude would then say, so these are the original Americans.
But that's what I was going to say. When I said it's retarded, I said because it's unreasonable from this point of view.
Yeah.
But if he's just saying it's retarded, then what's your reason to say it's retarded? I said it's retarded. I say your definition is retarded because it doesn't take into account this.
Yeah.
But you're saying my definition is retarded. Why? You're not providing a reason.
Oh, because it's so loose that even somebody there's not enough.
Well, it's not me who made it loose. The Americans, the exact same.
No, I'm not saying who said. Well,
no. I know that's my response. Yeah,
but there's a historical reasons, but it doesn't matter. It's just like whatever the definition is for now.
No.
It's too loose.
But that was gonna be my response.
Okay.
It's too loose because the same exact people that you are trying to distinguish, are the ones who made it loose.
Because they didn't integrate, you mean?
No, not because they didn't integrate, because they played the identity politics to control people. So that
wait, who's they? I got a bit lost on who they
the people with European ancestry who ruled for a bit.
Yeah.
These are the people, the same exact people who use identity politics to try to control people better, and they ended up making a culture where they have like separations between different cultures, but they still coexist. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would say the people that you're trying to distinguish to make him be the original Americans are the ones who made it loose.
But it's not a matter of blaming them. I mean, I agree.
I'm
I see your
not
point.
blaming. I'm saying that.
I mean, I see your point. I agree with your point. I see what you're saying.
I'm not the one who made it loose. I'm saying so let's say they had a coherent culture and there were some people who were not part of that coherent culture, then yeah, then obviously the definition is not loose. But the fact that it is loose is an inherent thing from America, not from the way I defined it. The way I defined it, it could be not loose because you have other cultures, like let's say Chinese culture. Once you become an integrated part of that culture, yeah, that happens. So in other instances, it's not loose. But in this instance, it's loose because of the people that you're trying to distinguish.
I'm a bit lost on that, to be honest.
So my response
what's
to that...
What's the difference between your definition and the definition?
Let me give you an example.
I thought I was using the definition of what Americans now consider American. You're like taking the argument of what most people would say an American is.
So
and I was taking the idea of what this dude's opinion was.
Yeah, so you're taking... Manning, right? Steve Manning. Yeah, Steve Manning his argument by saying my definition is retarded because it's too loose. But what I'm saying is I didn't make it loose. I didn't start by defining it loose. I defined it very. It was very defined.
How did you define it?
It's by becoming an integrated part of a culture. The fact that the American culture is loose, that's an inherent thing of America, not of my definition. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So my definition.
I see what you're saying. Let me sit on that for a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can keep chatting, but my mind will be split.
Yeah. My definition is not inherently loose. My definition is it's set. It's a set definition. The fact that it is loose in this case is because America's culture itself is loose.
Yeah. Okay. So if I didn't say, I admit that your thing is consistent, and we just said that the definition is fine, but it's impractical then. It's because what being what an American
is. It's not impractical. It is what is happening now. What is happening now is that multiple cultures coexist, and they all think of themselves as Americans.
But what does it mean to be American? That's when the point of being American is
even if they don't know what it is, they have like this vague idea of coexisting. It's just immigrating and making the American dream. That's what they think of being an American. That's what anyone without even a second thought think of it.
I guess so. And this again.
So it's
I'm agreeing to a large degree
Yeah,
because
it's not impractical.
that's how 90% of people think. So I agree on that.
It's not impractical. It is
The
what,
edge cases,
what is
the edge
happening.
cases would be.
His case is more like he's trying to.
Well, sorry, dude. The two edge cases that I would see would be Mexicans waving Mexican flags, other foreigners waving their foreign flags, and him saying, "Well, I know 90% of people are chill with being like this, but I don't like being like this. I want to be."
So this
my
is his
culture."
own insecurity about not. This is his insecurity about not being distinguished, about not being
Distinct or distinguished?
either of them. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's both. He just wants to be different.
Okay.
How do we? I don't know. Does it raise his ego? Does it? It doesn't matter to me. The point is he's trying to separate himself from others by saying, "Oh, I'm a true American." But no, I mean, practically, there's nothing called a true American.
Yeah.
Practically.
Yeah.
Why? Because the exact people that you're trying to make distinguished or distinct or separate them from the rest of society are the ones who made it like this.
Yeah. Okay.
You get what I'm saying now?
I think so. Yeah.
They would not even, let's say some of the people who did that, who made that culture loose, he got to ask them, why do you agree with me that this is the true American? They would disagree because it would be against the business or the money or the way they want to control people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on board with what you're saying, man. Obviously,
Even though they think
let me reiterate for the listener that wasn't my opinion.
Yeah.
And just so we're all
I'm not
clear on this.
retarded.
Yeah, we were just having a discussion about
you're
like
obviously
definitions
British,
and shit.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if he says
But with my ancestry, I could be a true
I could
American,
be a true-
unlike you Egyptian bastard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Bollocks! It's gone now.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I was trying to say yesterday.
Yeah. No, I knew this would eventually come to again a lot of agreement on it, but that was not the environment to have
It's
that conversation.
amazing, man, how I was just thinking.
Oh, sorry, that's what I was going to say. I will say that we didn't get deep into the conversation yesterday. Your logic did change of saying, because originally it was the reasonable thing is that there was a claim here from the originality, and then it's like, but you can integrate over time. So you did it. That was if I was going to critique your argument, is that it evolved a little bit. You had to add this caveat. Yeah.
It's amazing how,
and I agree, dude. And I've got another. You say your point. I've got a very good point against the dude. One of the reasons when I first heard it, I was like, that's fucking retarded. Yeah, but go on, say your
I was
point.
going to say it's amazing how quickly I made the argument consistent, even though I've never really
Thought about it too much.
Apart from it's, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying, damn, that's actually.
Do you do that?
The argument is insanely consistent.
Yeah.
I did not. The time that we're speaking is the time that I took to actually think about the argument. But what I was going to say
When you
about
do that internally,
sorry,
yeah, go on.
just to respond, to respond to the point of that I changed it slightly. I was aware of that. I was going to say I could see that change, but because I think it's not an unreasonable change. Like I
agree, it's not an unreasonable change.
If
this was a strict debate and we'd laid out our premises, then you'd have you fucking lost your argument. You moved from your argument, but no, I agree, it's a reasonable change.
Yeah, but the thing is, even my argument did not have like a solid, like the start argument was not that. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and this also,
I did not claim the opposite in my start argument. So the fact that I added it, it's a new. How do you say? It's a new addition, but it's not.
It's not a retroactively
contradicting
destroying.
Why I said.
And also, what the conversation was like, partially a debate, partially just actually trying to work out what we thought about.
No, I know that. Yeah.
But when you do stuff like that, do you think about it as just doing sophistry or rhetoric? Like I'm just trying to make it good, or you genuinely?
I'm genuinely thinking of a consistent argument that would.
Sorry.
I'm thinking of a consistent thought process that I would agree to.
So it is the fact that you agree with it as well.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish between logical arguments that you agree with and don't agree with, if they're both logical?
I could admit that there's a logical argument and it makes sense. And I say I did steel man his argument saying that could be reasonable, but I don't agree with.
So were you disagreeing with that for the sake of the conversation that we're having now, the nature of the conversation we're having, or because you genuinely just disagreed with it?
No, for this dude, I genuinely disagree with him because I think it's obviously impractical and it's not historically true, and it's not even currently true at the present. It's not true. This is not what's happening. So it's just it's impractical in every sense.
And to a listener that's listening as well, like my biggest initial critique that I thought of him was how so I steel man his case by saying like white people did X, then moved across.
Yeah.
White people made up so many different cultural groups, even during the times of colonialization. There was 4 different groups, like just from England itself. Then there were Irish. Then there were the waves, these other people that came over different years. And if you watch like, I mean, it's a Scorsese movie that's idealized, but Gangs in New York, and you got the fucking Protestant
dude,
white English
it's a good
Anglos
movie.
getting pissed off at the Catholics.
Yeah.
So it evolved over time. The nature of like what it means to be white is
It's just
it's
not
different.
true. Yeah, I genuinely think it's not true.
So that would have been, so when he told me like, is this original thing? Also, Puritans just stopped. They just disappeared.
Whom?
Puritans.
Puritans. Yeah. Okay. The ones that came from England or.
They're the original dudes that came over. When I read their original works, I agree with them. In my nature is very similar to them in a lot of ways. I wonder if that's, I don't know why. Or like as I've got into Christianity, my nature's agreed with them a lot.
I think it's because you're trying to feel the association to your ancestry.
So
I think that's the
I
reason.
did think that, but it was, I remember when I first read them, because I started reading Christianity, getting into Christianity more, and it was a year until I read that book. And I remember reading the books. I read there's 4 different cultures in there, so obviously they're all Christian. They're all, I don't know which one I would have come from. I don't know. They're all English. I didn't have the distinction, but I read the Puritans. I was like, yeah, pretty based. I thought that independently. And some of the stuff I thought through was like, I thought about how before I became Christian, there were things I thought about like, this is how I'd like to structure the relationship that I have and how I want the cultural practices that I like and I think are solid. Then I became Christian. Then I read that book and I was like, oh shit, okay, stuff that makes sense to me. But I mean, there's other stuff that I just think is completely wacky but it was. I remember I did.
No,
think,
I'm not saying the fact that you agree with them is because you want to associate with them, but the fact that you feel that you have an emotion towards them is because you want to feel, oh, my ancestors were not.
After I read it,
not
then
that
yeah,
bad.
I'm just making clear. Yeah, the order was. I read these. I happen to, and then it's obviously like nice. They are my ancestors as well. So that is also sick, and that does give me a good feeling.
Yeah. Do you remember when we talked about like that dissociation between like actually being a Christian or picking your values?
Yes.
How much do you separate it in your head now?
The idea of like where my morals come from and my values.
No, how? No, I guess you. No.
Reiterate the point.
Let me think it through, and then I'll
ask me off the podcast and give me a week to think about it as well so I can answer correctly. I'm not sure if I can answer well off the top of the thing.
Yeah, that's what I need to make a clear point as well.
We also haven't spoke about it in a while, so I think the way that I would conceptualize it now would be different to what it was before.
Yeah.
So we haven't actually sat down and spoke about it.
That's what I'm saying. I need to clarify the point that I want to ask.
Yeah. Dude, I was thinking, do you feel the need? I've been thinking this a lot over the last couple of weeks as I've like stepped out of the haze of just doing coding all the time. Do you feel the need to be understood? Do you need
understood?
Yeah.
Right now, no.
What as if like you had nobody?
Dude, I used to feel that going through undergrad. Right now, I don't give a shit about it, man. Like when people. Okay, I was literally thinking about that last week because I do a corporate job now, so it's. I was thinking, I don't give a shit if they understand me, but the thing is that would affect the job and that would affect what we do. So I need to care a bit.
There's practical implications now.
Exactly. I just need to be practical about it, care a bit about how they understand me because it's going to affect a lot of other things. But
which is very different.
Which is very different from as a being, do I need to feel like that someone
needs that connection, I need to see that somebody sees me.
I've been very chill, just having whatever thoughts I have and
what if you
not explaining it to people.
Yeah, what if you could never get a point across to somebody if every time they misunderstood you and you could never and
I'll just drop it, man.
Do you think you'd be fine forever? I think do you think you'd be fine forever on it?
If I have to like do the same thing, like, dude, you need to freaking listen to me. I'm not saying it because I have a need to understand. It's because it gets in the way of like having the conversation.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we keep running, it's the thing that we were talking about before we started. Actually, it's when people assume things like, dude. Which if we having a conversation and like keep saying this. Dude, no, listen to this is not why I'm trying to say.
It gets tedious because there's a bigger point that you want to make that is entertaining and important.
I mean, if you don't want, here's the thing: if you don't want to get a bigger point, that's fine. But don't like keep having the conversation under the pretense that you're trying to listen to me. No, you're not trying to listen to me.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't care if you don't want to listen, but just don't pretend that you are.
Yeah. what annoys me is when I get caught in something of, I'll get genuinely invested into the conversation and I'll want to get to the bigger point, and then I'll forget. I'll realize that after 10 minutes, like I should have noticed 10 minutes ago this wasn't going to go.
This was not going anywhere.
I've wasted, and then I'm annoyed at myself for not noticing the fact that it was never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what
No, I get you.
has the capacity to frustrate me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about that recently, about like, do I feel the need to be understood? And I definitely do have it still. It's going away, and I've been purposely noticing it in myself, and like, I'm like, okay,
I
I don't need to care about
that,
this.
but I think that might be something for off the podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it off the podcast. Yeah.
Do you want to call it?
Yeah, I was just last comment then, I guess,
Yeah,
was
go
on the
ahead.
point would have been, there were like you, a couple other mates, and then my fiance, where I can like say to varying degrees across, I guess if you amalgamated all of those people, I can say pretty much what I mean about anything. And it'd be understood to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Which I do notice that in me, that I still kind of require it. I get a bit weird if it goes a month without saying anything.
Without
I think there's a limit. There's a time
thinking
limit.
about something and without being able to let it out.
Yeah, no, it definitely builds up inside of me, which is
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe it will fade over time. Maybe it's, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it comes from you wanting to make sure that, like, having the validation that something is, that a thought you had is on the right track.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way I think about it is, I'm just gonna do this, and if it turns out to be wrong, I would go and ask someone about it, but not for the need, like in the practical sense. Like, if I'm thinking this, and
It's not emotional. It's not
it's not
massaging
from
any
the
emotion.
It's not
Yeah.
from the emotion that I need to, but I'm gonna do something until it's proven to me it's the other way, which is not necessarily the case with you, that you want to do something, but if you think something about society, then I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna be critical about the way I do it. It's not I'm gonna believe it, and I'm gonna say, every now and then I'm gonna catch myself, oh, is there a better way to think about this? You let it stew for a bit, and then you think about it again, you let it stew for a bit, and then you think about it again. That's if... Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I had the same urge. I just felt... I felt a slight weakness when I felt that urge. So
Yeah.
it's either I tolerate the weakness feeling and like give into it. That's the deciding factor for me is, okay, I don't like feeling that weakness feeling.
Yeah.
So it's either I feel that and like get understood, or
Yeah.
do it on my own terms. And then once you do it enough times, it's just you internalize it and it becomes part of who you are.
Yeah. Because I can see the conceptualization of it being a weakness.
Yeah.
I don't. So
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying being a weakness in the sense that I'm not saying it as an insult to the people I talk to.
This is what I was just about to say. Yeah.
I'm
And
not
I
saying
assume we're
it in
thinking
that
the
sense.
same lines.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
gonna say
just
even if I see that within myself, I don't hate it necessarily.
Yeah,
But it can
yeah.
annoy. It can be
I'm seeing it as-
inconvenient and annoying sometimes.
And I'm seeing it as a weakness in the sense that it's like you should be able to control yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
There's
Like,
something a bit
it
like
has nothing to do
too
with-
childish about it.
Yeah,
There's,
it has nothing to do with me giving into, being vulnerable. It
Yeah.
has more to do with you can't fucking control yourself.
Yeah, so
Give me more than that.
why does that solve it? Why can't I just think the thought or choose to leave the thought? Why? It's interesting. They don't
So
even
this is what
matter.
I'm trying to say. Like the weakness feeling doesn't come from the fact that I'm being vulnerable.
Yes.
And
Yeah. It's an
wanting
important
to be-
distinction to make.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes from the fact that I feel that I can't control myself. Oh, you can't control yourself? Oh, you get a grip, man.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
people who eat until they fucking bloated, like
Yeah,
about
yeah.
to explode. Get a grip, man.
Exactly.
Get a grip. Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
I think about it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I have felt the need less and less to say the things that I'm doing or plans for the future.
I think I know why
feel
you.
this.
I think I know
Go
why
on,
you
what do you
feel
think?
it though. I think you feel it because growing up, you probably you had this. What's the words? What's the word? You know when you push away an idea because that's too bad. It's too bad to think like that.
Okay. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I don't know the
And
word
then-
for it, but yeah.
Yeah. And then now that you're conscious that you have your own thought process, you want to make sure that people wouldn't say, "Oh, it's too bad." You get what I'm saying?
Maybe so.
You get what I'm saying? It's like thinking, "Why do they do that?" And then the society just completely goes against that. So you want to make sure that the societies. Even if they do say, even if you do disagree when you know they disagree with them, you want to find someone that the assurance that you're not alone in that feeling.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't see it as I don't see it as like an immoral thing though. That like
I'm not saying it's immoral. I'm just saying like this
Okay.
is the reason why you feel that. It's because you grew up.
I mean, that definitely is how I grew up. I agree with that.
Disregard is the way I was looking for. When people disregard the questions that you had, now you have questions and some of them are very reasonable, but then you want to, even if they disagree with, you know that they're going to be disagreeable to the society, but you want to find someone who would get what you know. It's not very unreasonable.
Yeah, I think that's fair because otherwise you feel like kind of an outsider the whole time.
Exactly.
Which to a large degree,
Even
I'm chill being an outsider, and also again the if I was just to be conformist, even though I felt strongly against it because I'm scared of their opinion, then yeah, I've got to come a long way to not allow myself to succumb to that.
Yeah.
But it's still within there to certain things, and I think some of it as well. So yes, that also some of it is like when I try to be humble about things, and I fall into this too much, especially when I'm tired and I'm like too busy on my tasks. That I have a certain plan for the future that's specific, and I'm aiming for. I'm a bit loose. If times change, I'll change.
And then you feel something.
And I'll ask, and I ask them. I mention it to somebody, and they go, "What? You doing what?" And they'll look at me like I'm retarded, or they'll disagree.
That's
a bit
exactly
harsh.
what I mean by disregard.
And then I suddenly
Yeah.
think like, and then I'll be humble enough to be like, "Well, oh fuck, man, what do they know that I don't know?" And then I'll talk to them for a bit, and I'm like, they don't fucking know. They didn't pay attention. They didn't even listen.
Yeah.
They didn't
You're
even listen.
the
To,
retard,
yeah,
not
they didn't
me.
even listen to me. And they're like, why did I just waste 2 hours fucking thinking about
That's
this?
what I'm saying. That's
I'm not going to
exactly
say
what I
anything.
meant.
I'm not going to
when you're a
mention
kid,
anything.
you know when you're a kid and someone, no, don't do that, Jack. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
Oh, why shouldn't I do it? What did I miss? Why was it
This is
wrong?
the whole schooling experience.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah,
That's exactly
yeah,
what
okay,
I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
then
exactly
yes,
what I'm
then yes,
saying.
yeah.
So you want to
It's
feel
more like practical stuff than moral stuff now. The moral stuff I'm pretty squared away with.
Exactly.
I think what I think, and I can think through that independently.
Yeah.
But yeah, the practicalities. Because I mean, obviously, in that sense, there's a lot of people that I respect, and they've accomplished things that I haven't. They obviously have wisdom. I should be acquiring wisdom off them.
Yeah.
But then that is too easy. And a first order approximation for people, if you get a mentor or somebody above you that knows a lot, is just to assume that they fucking know everything about the domain, and you'll learn so much. But there's a certain point we've got to go like, hold on, they're a bit retired. It's like learning your parents aren't gods, I guess. It's like that. It's just again, if I'm like in this process of life at the moment where I'm just reading through things, I'm reading papers and I'm chilling, I'm more present, I'll catch it way quicker. But if I'm busy thinking about other things and I'll fall into it because I'm more based off
because
my emotions.
you feel
I'm not
that
disciplined with my
you
thoughts.
you feel that you lost confidence in yourself for a moment there.
Yeah, like my
it
thoughts
feels
are by their nature off down rabbit holes. So if somebody, I can be drawn away too easily. But now when I'm just chilling present more often and I'm meditating and stuff like that, it's harder to get me down a rabbit hole like that. A rabbit hole of self-doubt or it's weird.
It is. It is
It is an
tricky.
interesting thought. Yeah.
But it took me a minute to like disregard this thing, but I'm glad it is now.
Yeah, that is good though. Because I think as fucking particular as I am, you're way more particular than me.
What?
For as particular as I am, I think you're a lot more particular than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we spoke about this before. I mean, how long have we been recording for? Should we just call
An
it?
hour?
Hour? We got a little bit more, I guess. Oh, we spoke about that in the context of dating because we both agree. We see like dating as like economic markets and like and then like a personal interaction that you have with the person, which you obviously can learn like commonalities between how humans interact. So it becomes like very reserved, like distant and
Very
autistic.
distant,
Yeah. Once you
Very
become aware of that,
dissociated from.
and then once you like have knowledge of yourself, you think, well, what would be a worthy sacrifice to allow this person into my life, and what would I even want them to do? Yeah, like what would I want them to do?
Yeah.
And then I think that's when I thought about the pool of women that I would want to date would be very small, and then for you, even it's like minuscule, I guess. I feel like a long term, like the concept of marriage, I guess, to make it go full circle back to marriage.
At this point, when I think of marriage, I don't have a strong opinion.
From your own personal, like what would be good for you, you mean?
Yeah. Personally, this is my personal opinion now. I think I'm going to leave it to fate, man.
Yeah.
And not in the sense that like the one and so on. I'm just going to
Yeah.
if someone worthy comes along, I'm fine. I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't
I just
come,
want to love you, babe. You just let me love you.
If someone doesn't come, it doesn't come. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not there. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
But that's why I left it to fate. Like whatever happens, happens. At that
That's
point,
fair.
I guess.
That's fair
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well, dude. Yeah, yeah.
I like overthinking about it too much. It's like what I was telling you a couple of days ago or yesterday. I can't remember.
Yeah.
When I said we're trying to figure out 10 years in the future right now.
Yes,
Like,
you were
dude,
talking about this earlier in the
20
week.
freaking 7, 28. You're about to be 28.
Almost. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally a couple of months now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. That's how I'm thinking. Like, I think
that's fair.
Jung said, you're doing research until 40 in your life, and then
That's when it starts. That's when you kind of know
that's
stuff.
when that's when
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. Man.
Which is, by the way, fun fact. There's a saying in Quran. Sorry, there's a verse in Quran that says the exact same thing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
once you get to 40, this is when you actually. I mean, you peak at 33, so like.
Yeah, that's like your physical
Yeah, but
SMV,
then,
sexual
but
work
40
vitality
is
was
like
at 35.
40 is like you've obtained the knowledge of how the world
Yeah.
works, and
Yeah, yeah. Your body's
Make it-
starting to decline a little bit. It's not as what it was at 33, but your knowledge should be, and
Yeah.
vitality should be pretty,
I
mental
mean,
vitality should
honestly,
be
there
there, I
are
think.
people at 70s that the freaking.
Dude, I intend to be squatting ass to grass at 70. I'm not going to fucking, I'm not stopping, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah. Talking
I
general
think-
rules, yeah.
Yeah, general. But I think you could even age it just because people become lazy.
Yeah.
And I think because
Definitely.
they
Yeah, to a huge
genuinely.
degree.
So I keep saying that if you stop working, you die, man. This is why I think people when they retire, they die because their just life becomes empty. And
Especially for men, yeah.
exactly, yeah. Dude, once you stop working, you die. You can't do that.
Yeah. Very true,
Yeah,
man.
think about it.
Yeah,
Like I
you
have
sit on
no-
that. Carl Jung is a Muslim.
Yeah.
Little factoid for the day. And don't stop
You remember
working
that
or you
video
die.
when he was saying, he was being asked, "Do you believe in God?" And he said, "Oh, what do you mean believe?" I know.
I know.
Don't
Yeah,
worry, it's like-
yeah. I know, yeah.
My response is, "Easy, mate. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about this." I cool it down a bit with the anti-Semitic.
Yeah. They say Christ is king. It's a very anti-Semitic, dude. Christ is king. We'll leave it on that spot then. Yeah, we'll call it there.
Thanks for listening, guys,
thanks
and
for
we'll see
listening,
you in the
guys.
next episodes. Let us know in the comments if you like, you'd like us to talk about specific questions.
Give us the definition of an American as well.
Yeah. We'd like to hear what's out there.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening.